So I'm back in here where I deer hunt, and it's a really good trail right here. Up there on top of the hill or bean fields or cornfield, whatever they plant. And there's an old rub that's been retouched many times, but there was a good two nice big scrapes right here and rubs, and a pretty good sized buck has been used in this area. So I thought I'd come back in here and hang me a trail camera on this tree here, watching that way, watching that trail, because the sun, see, I don't want to face it this way, the sun's up there. So there's no Sasquatch on this side. Well, I'm not going to say that, there are, but I haven't felt anything, and it feels good. There's plenty of noises, but the Sasquatch all are over in there. That seems to be their side of the island. So anyway, so I'm gonna hang this trail camera, and then I'm gonna go on a regular hike. But this is a pretty good spot here, and I'm just trying to figure out. We had reports. This is public land, and I had report. There's been several people see a couple big deer in here, so I'm gonna try to figure them out and figure out where they're at. Got her set up. So while I'm walking out, it's a beautiful spring day, March 26th. while I'm walking out here, I'll address some things. I didn't bring my walking stick with me. Probably should have, but I didn't. But let's get up here. But so Steve's been, my friend Steve Isdahl, has been dropping some pretty heavy stuff, good stuff that needs to be said about the abilities of this being we know as the Sasquatch, Bigfoot, whatever else you want to call it, wild man. And so several people have been asking me, what do you think? What's your comment on this? What's your view on this? And as far as his attitude towards this, all this cover-up stuff, and those organizations that try to hide the truth or bury the truth, or I'm 100% with him. And always have been, to be honest with you. If you followed my channel, you'd know that. But it's hard to hold this little camera. It's not a monoplane. But I'm 100% with him on my feelings about the fact that this has been covered up by the powers that be, whether it's the government, feds, the local, state, and then of course if you read my book Truth Denied, then you know that you know what happened to the DNA study and the total poop show that was, and all those people involved. So I'll put links to that book. And if you want to know what I think they are, I think they're Nephilim descended, and I think they have both human and angelic DNA in them, and that gives them the abilities to do what they do. And depending on the genetic purity, kind of determines the extent of their abilities. That's why you have such a wide range of things going on. Some that can cloak and disappear, some that can't, some that can go in and out of portals, some that can't. Some can use infrasound or do other things to mess with your mind and do mind speak, and others can't. One gets run over by a car and killed, while another jumps off a 100-foot bridge and walks away unscathed. Because there's genetic diversity in their population, just like there is the human population. And that's one of the things that you need to understand if you want to understand the Sasquatch and what's going on. And it's just a huge picture. It's just so much more than just a big hairy wild man running around the woods. So much associated with it. It's interlinked and intertied with all kinds of things. More that you could get into. It'd take a video series of days to go through all the subjects and explain it. Oh, back out to the horse trail. Had rain last night. It's muddy. So gotta go around this. Hang on. Gotta go around this mess. Where was I? Oh yeah. So anyway, we've had this scientist come out, and he saw one cloaking and jumping up and down. As it jumped, his upper body would disappear, and all kinds of craziness ensued. And in my book, The Nephilim Among Us, which I wrote down my conclusions and my the evidence and my reasoning and my thought process as to why I think they're Nephilim descendant is all in that book. And I've seen them cloaked before, so you know, I've got a picture of one, I believe, that is cloaked. Actually, more than one. And got him moving behind me. He actually moves a tree, pushes a tree down out of the way as he's walking. And you can see through him, but you can still kind of see his form. And I've actually seen it with my own eyes. Saw one. And it looked like the Predator, just like the movie, except a whole lot better. It wasn't a reflection type of cloak where it was reflecting what was around. You were actually seeing through or around, so I was seeing through and behind. I think the military has a cloak like that. That one side transmits what the other side's seeing, vice versa. So it gives the appearance you're looking straight through. And this is definitely what I saw. It was a really good, I mean, when it stopped moving, you couldn't see it. Only when it moved could you get a faint outline of it moving, and you could tell something was there moving. So yeah, they cloak, if you want to know my opinion about that. And so they do all kinds of stuff. But I'm actually on a wildlife management area, and they've got grass planted. Isn't that gorgeous? How do you like that? Wouldn't you like to live in here? They run the farmers out and condemn their land when they flooded the lake. Thank God they didn't develop this and sell it back to people. They did make it a public use area. Walk-in, horseback only. Isn't that gorgeous? Probably a deer or two bedded down in that clump of stuff. There's an old pond over there, but it's filled in now. Probably deer and or Sasquatch in these isolated patches of woods. But this is just cover grass. I don't know when he'll cut it. It's pretty. This is about 1,500 acres, I believe. Isn't this gorgeous? 1,500 acres. With the fresh rain last night, if anything left tracks or across the road and it's dumb enough to step in the road, I'll find it. I found some deer tracks, that's about it. So it's not going to be easy with the monopod, but we'll get to it. Anyway, so where was I? Oh yeah. So yeah, they can cloak, follow you home, and all kinds of crazy paranormal activity are associated with them. And I've warned people before, if you go seeking these things out, be careful, because there is a load of unintended consequences, a lot. And if you seek them out, then you give them permission in return to seek you out and to follow you wherever you go. And it's a non-revocable. In other words, once you've opened that door, you can't shut it, period. It's just, the way it is. It's the way the rules are set up. Now they seem to have a rule set where they, in most cases, will not harm people. In most cases. But that rule's not 100%. And some have, gone off the reservation and injured people, killed people, hurt people. So, it's not all fun and games. And you have to be extremely careful and think about it if you want to, quote, seek these things out. I stopped researching them several years ago after I just, figured out what they were. And there was nothing else left to do. Had the DNA study, had all the pictures and stuff I was going to be able to get, to be honest with you. So, it's time to move on with your life, It's once you've been baptized into this, you can't ever get out of it, but, it's not what I think about every day. It's not what I do every day. I hunt, fish, and have a family and friends, and I'll enjoy hiking. And, my paths cross theirs, and as you've seen on my channel, I'll film it and talk about it. Because, like I say, you can't get away from it. It's just part of your life. It's just there. And you just learn to deal with it. There's the road I'm on. So there's all kinds of game trails going off to these fields. I mean, look at that. How war that is. So, but I'll film down the trail and talk. That way you don't have to look at my ugly mug. Yeah, there has been somebody down in here, an horse. This one, I've got a rider in front of me somewhere. So, they also asked me, I made a mistake and was trying to be supportive and made a comment. And and the trolls attack, of course, but anyway. I made a comment about, and this ain't about me, so this was about this guy and his experiences, but this fella had mentioned that they see him come on the facilities and the federal lands all the time, and they just basically ignore them or let them come on. And I had been, by a very reliable source, someone who worked with these people, told me about an incident in one of these facilities where Sasquatch was regularly coming under the fence, and they went to the higher ups and showed them the video, said this happens on a pretty regular basis, and they were told just to ignore it, to not log it. And the reason I put that there was to be supportive and give background, or to give further validity that this occurs quite often. Steve's mentioned it. He's been told several times, and I was just chiming in saying, hey, I'm out here in Tennessee and we get the same stuff here. So that's all. I was just being supportive, and I can't go into any further details because this led to something else is what it led to, and then these guys would get in trouble and their bosses would know. So I can't, they still work there, and so I can't, that's about as far as I can go. Yeah. It's not some big mystery. It's just the fact that I'd heard a similar account, and it just trying to say, hey, it happens all over the country at multiple facilities. This guy's right on the money. So there's that. And somebody had asked me about that. And so there's about all I can tell you about that. Looks like one horse. Yeah. Anyway, isn't it pretty? I'm going to hike out to the lake and back for exercise and try to get this old fat belly off of me. But I get asked, you know, all the time about these things, and you know, I'm not trying to sell any books, but you know, I did write all this down and put it in books, mainly because that way I could pass on the information to people, and they'd have it readily available. And I don't ask you to subscribe to my channel or any of that other crap. You know, the books are available, and if you want to buy them, you buy them. If you don't, you don't. I've even got them in ebook form. They're very inexpensive. You can download the book and read it, and so you don't even have to buy the paperback. Because trust me, Amazon gets most of the money anyway when you self-publish. Trust me. So, listen to those frogs. I guess, see what else so I'm going to address. You know, we're trying to help people here. And as anybody that's followed me knows, I've got the Sasquatch Awareness Project website or blog site, whatever you want to call it. And it's out there, it's free, and it's chock full of a lot of information. As much as I could kind of put in a synopsis to get people who are curious up to speed on what's going on. I'll have to stop filming for a second till I get past these frogs. It's funny, once I got to the frogs, they shut up. So you can see the farm equipment. Been out through here, a couple deer tracks and a couple horses. So yeah, let's talk about the Sasquatch Awareness Project. And I put that together to help people. Like I said, it's free. All the information's free. I've got some of my best pictures and videos for those who are curious what they look like. I've got information that's footnoted about what they are and how to handle them, how to deal with if you have an encounter, you know, based on my opinion. I'm not a medical doctor, but kind of give you how I handled it. I give you both the practical and the spiritual solutions. You know, but however you believe or think, it's out there for you. People have suggested things that work for them. It's a community effort to get this out there for everybody. And it's up and it's out there. I know Steve's working on something that's going to be extremely comprehensive and blow anything I've done away, and that's great because of the exposure. He can mention one thing one time, and he can get that exposure out there for people, and that's great. This is going to be something really good, I think, what he's working on. But until then, to stand in the gap, I've got this side up. Yeah, Steve knows it's there. I had him look at it when I first put it up. Got his opinion on it. So Anyway, you know, this isn't a competition, or some people keep trying to make this some sort of competition, or I like you better than I like him crap. I'm just here to tell you, this is not a competition. This is a partnership. This is a working together to help people, period. End of sentence. And no, there's no backroom deals, right? Any of that crap. Or, we don't talk on a regular basis, blah, blah, blah. It's just, he does his thing and I do my thing, and we're in agreement, and we work. Even though we're doing stuff separately, we working towards the same goal, and obviously you're going to be supportive, or I'm supportive of him for sure. I think I can speak for him to say he's supportive of me. So that's where that's at, for those who know who they are that left some pretty nasty accusations and comments. So let's see. So I want to talk about. And this gorgeous. If I'd lived on this property, you'd have drugged me off of it, kicking and screaming. It's a big farm back in the day. Huge farm. So anyway, there's the Sasquatch Awareness Project. I want to bring to your attention that you can send me emails, and I get a lot, not like Steve does, but or not near as many as Dave does, but I get a few. And so it takes me a while. I work a full-time job and do this as a labor of love on the side, so you have to be patient with me, but I will try to get back with you. One thing, people keep asking me to call them, and that's a difficult thing, because you get in the habit of calling people, it can get messy. There can be misunderstandings, and I only call someone if it's a very dire situation and I feel led in my gut to call them. And it's no offense to anybody. Don't anybody take it personally if I don't call you. But, I'm going to trust my gut, trust the Holy Spirit, trust God. And if I hear that little still voice saying, you need to call this person, then I will. And that doesn't mean that your problem's not as bad or it's not as life-changing. It's just, I get requests for, now, I guess over the years, hundreds of people want me to call them. And I just can't do that. I just can't. I'll occasionally chat with people on the messenger and answer questions and respond to emails. And like I said, if I feel led, then I'll call. But don't be offended and don't be upset if I don't. But just sending me a note says I need to talk to you immediately about something very important, and a phone number, I can't respond to that. I don't know who you are or what your situation is or what's going on. So please understand and don't do that. So another big opening. It's about time for him to turn these fields. It's March 26th. He's going to plant. It'll be soon. He may be going to let this rest. He's this guy. I don't know if that's alfalfa. But, yeah. It's really pretty out through here. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, and just addressing those people who want me to call. Let's see. Hey, deer. Looks like a bunch of does and fawns. Yeah, they've been several. Across here. Over in there somewhere. Oh. So, let's see. Oh yeah, where I was trying to get to begin with. Sibylla Irwin has graciously volunteered her talents to do witness sketches. And I have a page on the Sasquatch Awareness Project for that. And for many people who have seen them and having issues, I encourage you to go to that tab and reach out to her. There's something very therapeutic about going back through your memories and having what you saw sketched. And she's a very good artist, and she sketches it like what you saw. She does, she continuously works with you until you tell her that's it. She doesn't guess, she doesn't make it. I gotta change the battery. She doesn't make it look like what she interprets. It's what you tell her. And she's also open to sketching the dog man, if you've seen a dog man, if you've seen other weird cryptids, whatever. Orbs. Anything you've seen unexplainable that's given you issues. I encourage you to reach out to her, because there's really something about being able to tangibly say, that's it, that's what I saw. And I know it. And it kind of helps you reconcile that. At least it does me. That's the one thing about the pictures I've taken, is there is a reconciliation there. There's something concrete that I can say, I can point out and say, that's it. That's what, that's the thing. And I think that's important. And I think it's extremely helpful. And if you're so inclined, I encourage you to do that. So I've got to pause here and change the battery on my GoPro. Okay. Got batteries changed out. Back trail going. Sun shining. Birds are singing. Zippity doo dah. Zippity yay. My, one would be. So, back to the country road here. So yeah, I really highly recommend, if you've had a sighting, an encounter, that you do the witness sketch. I think it'll be very beneficial, therapeutic, and really helpful. People ask me all the time, how do you deal with it? How do you get back out in the woods? How do you deal with the fear? And I have my faith, and I've mentioned that many times, and I've answered this question many times. But I rely upon my faith as my foundation. And knowing and trusting God, and no matter what happens, knowing He's got my back, and whatever happens to me is going to be His will. And so that's a big part of how I deal with it. But I'm also one of these people that believe that you got to face these fears. You got to hit them head on. And you do it, in my opinion, in baby steps. You don't, rush out there totally alone, screaming bloody murder. But if you're a hunter and you've had a very bad experience and it's got you to the point where you just think that there's something behind every tree limb or every log, or it's going to jump out and get you, and that's a real issue with some people and a real fear. It's not, I'm not making light of it. Many people have those issues and have that type of fear. It was so traumatic. So you have to take baby steps. You find someone you trust and you start going on small trips. 30 minutes to an hour may be all you can go. A walk in a park somewhere where there's people around, but woods. And you start. But the main thing is you take that first step, you put one foot in front of the other and you go. And you have to have a little bit of faith in yourself. You know, you think things through, and you just take those baby steps. You know they're out there. You know what you're dealing with. Here you go. I actually marked it the titty tree. It's funny. There's the titty tree. So now I can mark that off my bucket list. I've seen the titty tree at Baker Street. Oh well, so where was I? Oh yeah. There's usually deer down in this little area. The old farmer, the farm was right down here. It was a big farm too. Barns, house, and they tore all of it down. Anyway, so I recommend baby steps. And going with a friend, and make goals. Hey, we're going to go walk in the park today for 30 minutes, and then an hour, and then hey, we're going to the state park and we're going to walk those hiking trails, and we're going to go for an hour at 30 minutes, because you know what's out there now. And what you got to understand, before you had this encounter, you were aware there are snakes, coyotes, wild hog, bear, mountain lions, all kinds of different known wild animals that were dangerous. If you had an encounter with them, it could turn dangerous. But you were aware of it. In your mind, you knew they existed, and you were aware of the dangers. And you had taken the precautions necessary in those areas to protect yourself against these things. But when you have a experience with a Sasquatch, and he yells, screams, rumbles your insides, you're dealing with something that you've, number one, it's not supposed to exist. Number two, that you have no frame of reference for. Of course, now you do. And that's our goal, is to educate people. So if it does happen, it's less traumatic, and they can handle the situation better, both during the encounter and after. But getting back to just taking those baby steps. Remember, if they let you know they're there, most likely they were warning you and just wanting you to leave. If they wanted to get you, trust me, they could get you at any moment, at any time, period. You'd never hear them coming, and they get you. And that's the same for a mountain lion, same way. You don't hear the mountain lion until it's too late. So if you're hearing them and they're making noises and they're roaring and they're doing all this other stuff, then actually that's a good thing. It's them letting you know that they're here and they want you to leave. And that's what you need to do. You can always camp somewhere else. You can always hunt somewhere else. You can always hike somewhere else. You can always fish somewhere else. You know, so something like this happens, you get roared at, the wood knocks, you see one, they throw rocks at you, you get the feeling, the gut feeling in your gut that they're around, then you need to leave. That's, you know, bottom line is you need to leave. Follow your gut, follow your instincts. You know, when I first, part of developing that, when I hit the, right before I hit the woods, I say a prayer of protection. God will protect me and watch after me, keep these things away from me. And then I close my eyes and take some deep breaths, clear my mind, and I try to settle in to the real world. Get the sounds and smells of trucks and cars and people and get that out of my head and kind of get in tune and settle in. Hear the birds, smell the grass, smell the blooms, and you'd be surprised. I found that really helps and helps you kind of clue in. At least it does me. Okay. Let's see. Anything else that's on my mind that people have asked me about? You know, they asked me what I thought of that picture that Steve showed. That's a great picture. What they look like. I kind of think it's kind of funny. It looks like to me it's got its face pressed up against the window. And very human looking. In fact, I didn't see any hair. Maybe the lower right of its cheek, maybe. So, of course, it was at night, and the flash of the camera. But still, that's what they do. And I remember I used to get so much grief because people would jump up and down. I posted a picture with several that didn't have any hair on their face. And they're like, oh, you know, and I'm like, oh, that's what they look like. I can't help what they look like. I don't care what you have in your head what they look like. That's what they look like. And I think it's refreshing and interesting with time as more photos and more witnesses come forward of what I've captured, and others like Mary Green, what Mary Green had seen and wrote about and used to be blasted about by the old school apers. You know, they had conical shaped heads and they looked like an ape, and she'd say, no, mine, the ones I'm seeing had rounded heads and look like people with hair on them. And even some of and the wide flat noses and the thin wide mouths and the complete black almond shaped eyes. Well, yeah, many of them look like that, but not all of them. I've seen them with slender Caucasian noses and blue eyes and sparse hair on their bodies. So there's genetic diversity. Gotta have an open mind. These people, these things, these whatever you want to call them, Sasquatch. Gotta keep an open mind. So here I'm at the end of the peninsula here. Here's the home place. And the house and the barns and stuff were right here. What you're hearing is bass boats on the lake. And of course now, across the lake, you've got all those houses, condos on the lake. But oh, see, look at that. It looks like he's just going to let these fields rest this year. He had soybeans in them last year. This was the front 40. And then the farmhouse stood right here. And the farmhouse was right there. The back buildings were here, the barn and hog lot, I think. I found a hog lot there where he fed his cattle, kept his farm equipment. It was all right in here. It's all grown up now. I think that's the part of the foundation right there. And then if you go back in there, there's the foundation. Right there's the foundation. You can see it. See it right there? One of the outbuildings. And a lot of deer in here now. Sasquatch in here. There you go. Of course, you can hear there's an industrial park right over there. But I guess to wind this all up, you know, my focus now is to help people, help them cope. It is to educate people. Is to work with others like Steve, Dave Pilates, and those Sibylla Irwin, those who are trying to help people now, trying to educate people, trying to warn people, try to tell people the truth, regardless of how uncomfortable the truth makes us. Telling the truth, telling of the experiences we've had, reassuring people they're not crazy. And you know, you win this battle that we're in one heart at a time, one person at a time. That's how you win it. So, with that being said, I'm gonna hike down to the lake, I think, and find me a shady spot, eat me a snack, and then hike back out. It's a good hike. It's an hour or more back in here. And I may add some more. Like I said, I forget so much stuff. There's so much on my mind right now with what's going on in the world and what's going on in my personal life. My brain just gets cluttered. And it's good to get out, take a day off, and just let it all go for a while. It'll be there in the morning, you know. It'll be there Monday. This is the real world. This is where I feel at home anyway. Always have. Give me a dirt clod and a pair of shorts. And that's all I needed. I'd play all day with a vivid imagination and a dirt clod. And that's all I needed. Well, y'all stay safe out there. Be careful. If I can help you, go to the Sasquatch Awareness Project. Search it. I'll have the links at the bottom of the video here. And like I said, there's if you sent me emails I hadn't replied, I apologize. I'll get to. I'm trying to get to them. If I missed your email, then email me again. A lot of people email me and they'll email Steve and I'll respond, and then later he'll read their email. And that's all right. Some of them I can get to faster than he can, just because, you know, I'm not getting 10,000 emails. I'm getting hundreds, you know, of emails. But, trust me, I don't want 10,000 emails. I don't need thousands. I'm just trying to do my part, help who I can help. And anyway, I'm going to keep rambling. I need to shut up. But anyway, going out this old wagon road. But yeah, I guess I'll wrap it up for now. Gonna finish my hike, get me a snack. Y'all be careful and have a good weekend, and be good to each other.